Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is July the 16th, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Let's see. Today was filled with work and some errands after work, so that was a thing. But overall, today was really good. I will say, kind of looking back at the weekend, even just just kind of going through some of the episodes, the heat was really getting to me. And a lot of crazy things have happened, or like one really crazy thing has happened, but man, I've been sweating it out. And I know I've been mentioning that throughout the whole weekend, and I'm sure I'm going to continue for the next, like, what, 2 months, month and a half at least. But we move. Let's see. That being said, I'd say a funny thing that happened at work. Well, actually, it happened to work, and I decided to kind of get through it. And this is a story that I've told before. It just happens again and again. I realized that I just have a wardrobe malfunction. And literally, like, the inseam of my hoochie daddies is just busted wide open. And this is like a pending problem. It was a hole. It was there. And I just realized the hole had just gotten too big, officially. And I'm like, well, I'm at work now. So that's just something I had to deal with. So I felt pretty compelled to just get some new shorts into the rotation. So that was part of the thing I had to do. That was fun. Excuse me. But, happy to get some more shorts, short shopping. Yay. Love that. Love blowing money. A gripe I have with these is that, well, plus 5-inch inseam. We love that. That's awesome. That's peak length. I mean, I guess you could go to 4. That's dangerous territory. I'm not a Duke of Hazzard. You know what I mean? But, the potential con, but I liked it on site, so I just got it. There's a lining to it, and I hate the pesky little running lining on these shorts. Like, every one of these shorts have them. I usually wind up cutting it out. This one I'm going to keep, and I'm going to try on for a trial period because it has that, like, extended length under it. And so but I realized as I put them on, that's not really what I want, because the whole point of hoochie daddies is that you're showing off leg, right? I want to show these legs off, So, it, kind of defeats the purpose to have something that goes down to my knee. But that being said, it's almost like these are man leggings, so that's kind of cute, that's kind of a vibe, maybe. Maybe I've always kind of wanted to have that, without actually having to buy that. So, we'll see. Maybe I wind up cutting them out, maybe I don't, But anyway, food corner. Let's talk about some food. Because you know what? I realized I got on the scale and I was really bummed I gained weight. Or like hitting the 256, 258 range. So I love that for me. The Sour Patch Kids, the drumsticks that I've been consuming throughout the weekend, they catch up. It is what it is. But let's see here. What did we eat last night in terms of like the main food? The entree. Mexican beef and rice bowl. It was yummy. We had the tortillas, which I pan fried, and then some tortilla chips. And we added the gochujang there. I figured, hey, let's try this here. Felt like a good place to add it. It fit. It actually didn't feel crazy. So that was nice. I look forward to maybe incorporating that into some other. No, actually, no. I'm probably gonna stick to that, and then maybe just the Korean fried chicken. I don't know if I'm really gonna get really that adventurous with it outside of those two things. I don't want it in my pasta. Let's say that. But let's see here. Oh yeah, what else did I have sidewise? The taquitos. I added those because I'm like, might as well. So yeah, that was good. It all kind of came together. Man, you know what? The more taquitos I eat, I always have this problem. Is that I love them until I realize what I really want is a flauta. I just want flautas. I just want to like cram a bunch of those in my mouth. But you really, you're not going through the hassle of buying those or getting those because you can't do that unless you're going to a restaurant, At least I'm not going to make them at home. I'm not going through that hassle. Anyway. All right, enough about food. I feel like it's time. I've done a little bit of ranting. And at work, I know I told you guys that I'm fatter. I'm fatting. Fatting. I wish that was a word that is real. But I was just feeling weird at work. I don't know if it's just the heat or if it was just me being back at work, whatever. But I was like, I need to eat something. So I went and I got a bag of chips and a chicken salad sandwich on wheat bread. And I had that with my energy drink. And that balanced me out. I felt good. But then, of course, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fat. I'm just so fat. So, that's where I'm at. That's where we're living right now. Anyway, okay, enough about the bullshit. Let me go ahead and do the startup. Feel free to take one with me. And we can go and get into some news, some real happenings. That fucking heavy shit. All right. From Al Jazeera, at least 6 killed in Oman mosque attack. At least 6 people have been killed and 28 others wounded in a shooting at a mosque in Oman in a rare act of violence in the Gulf nation. The attack late on Monday took place in Wadi al-Kabir, a district east of the capital city in Muscat, or in the east of the capital city, Muscat, during a major religious event for Shia Muslims. Video from the scene shows people fleeing near the Imam Ali Mosque. Its minaret visible, as gunfire rings out, followed by a voice saying, "Oh God." And I believe that's a part of the thumbnail that I have on this episode. 4 Pakistanis and a policeman were among those killed, and at least 28 other people were wounded. Pakistani and Omani authorities said. The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attack in a rare operation in one of the most stable countries in the Middle East, the group said in a statement on Telegram on Tuesday. Omani police said in a statement on Tuesday that the 3 gunmen behind the attack were killed, and police officers have concluded the procedures for dealing with the shooting, it said. Pakistan strongly condemns the dastardly terrorist act. We are heartened that the government of Oman has neutralized the attackers, Pakistan's foreign ministry said in a statement. This was a big happening that took place. I figured, hey, let's go ahead and start the episode off with that. We can go ahead and segue into the next bit from the BBC. Kagame wins Rwanda vote in landslide. Partial results. They say partial results. This is wrapped up. Rwandan President Paul Kagame is on course to extend his 24-year rule by another 5 years in a landslide victory, with most of the votes counted from Monday's election. He has 99.15% of the votes so far, with about 79% of the ballots counted. Partial results announced by the Electoral Commission show. The 66-year-old faced no meaningful opposition, with leading figures banned. His 2 opponents shared less than 1% of the vote. This is democracy, at its finest. Obviously, it's a very sad state of affairs for Rwanda. You hate to see it, but, it is an election, so, it makes sense. It falls in line with election year. It's a shame. And then just a closing thought that I kind of wanted to add here before we move on. Rwanda is the place that the UK, under Tory leadership, was saying, hey, we should just totally send all our migrants there. We should just send all our, illegal migrants who, don't belong here. They should just all get deported and sent to this place because it's stable. It's fine. Also adding to a little bit of just random side news since I'm on that subject. Rwanda and the UK have an arrangement, or had an arrangement, I should say. I guess it's in flux now, with new leadership with the Labour Party. But essentially, the Tories paid Rwanda a substantial amount of money to set up this whole venture where they were going to put people on planes, send them over to Rwanda. And Rwanda is saying, okay, cool, I'm cool, congratulations, Labour Party, whatever. We're keeping that money. We were always going to keep that money. That was the arrangement. So, you can do whatever the fuck you want, whether you're going to send us some people or not, but like that's set in stone. We already have, arrangements set up. We already have facilities set up. There are beds that are being taken care of, and there's no one filling them, So yeah, no, we're going to, keep that money for fucking sure. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Our guy Bob Menendez, the fucking verdict finally dropped, so we can finally get into this. I'm very excited. From ABC News, Senator Bob Menendez found guilty on all counts, including acting as foreign agent in federal corruption trial. Man, so it turns out second time's the charm. You don't need a third. Thank God. I really thought this guy was dead to rights. We talked about this guy having gold bars in his house. Like, you can trace these motherfucking people to said gold bars, to the bribe money. It's just like there's so much text between Bob Menendez, his wife, the go-betweens. Like, it seems like a black and white open and shut case. But mind you, this guy has beaten the rap before. So I did not know how this was going to shake out. I didn't know how the jury was going to go, whether they were even, maybe they might be like last time and they might not actually come to a verdict. So getting not just a verdict, but a guilty one at that, I'm like, hell yeah, let's fucking go. So let's get into it. Senator Bob Menendez was found guilty on all counts Tuesday in his federal corruption trial. Federal prosecutors in New York alleged the New Jersey Democrat accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes in the form of cash, gold bars, mortgage payments, and more in exchange for the senator's political clout. 3 New Jersey businessmen who were also charged, along with the governments of Egypt and Qatar, were the alleged recipients. 2 of those co-defendants, Walel Hina and Fred Dybes, I'm getting this name's wrong, forgive me, were also convicted of all counts they faced. The jury deliberated for about 13 hours over 3 days. That's not bad. That's not too bad, right? I feel like that's a decent time. I don't know. Let's see here. Let's read a little bit further from Menendez's side here, I guess. Menendez pleaded not guilty to 16 federal charges, including bribery, fraud, acting as a foreign agent, and obstruction. He said he plans to appeal his conviction and is deeply disappointed by the jury's decision. I never violated my oath, he said outside the courthouse Tuesday. I have never been anything but a patriot of my country and for my country. I have never, ever been a foreign agent. And you know what? I honestly can believe that Menendez can say that with 100% conviction, because in his mind, he was just doing this shit for good old Menendez. I mean, that's my thought. That's my feeling on this shit. It feels like he was doing this for him and Nadine, his wife. Who he seemed to love very dearly. He loved it very dearly. I don't know. Like every podcast I've listened to, they always like throwing in the aside of like how they met, him and his wife, how they like dated, and it was like a very, very cute situation, and like how they like send these like cute texts to each other, and it's so adorable. And I think they went to like some foreign country, maybe it was France or Italy or whatever, and he sang to her on like some bench and proposed. Like, okay, this is very cute, but at the end of the day, this man was like, oh, I'm going to use my position to get as much money as I can, in any kind of form and fashion as I can. Even to the point of like, his wife needed a new car because I believe the car got fucked up in a fender bender, and that fender being a person that she ran over. But yeah, so she needed a new Mercedes, and they were able to use their connections and their power to get a new fucking Mercedes for her. So yeah, I mean, in his mind, he's like, no, I did this shit for me. I'm not a foreign agent, baby. But like, no, man, you're corrupt to the core, bro. Like, and this is one of those things where it definitely sucks, because it's like, I love seeing, a fucking, Republican, like, oh yeah, this is the guy I expect to be the fucking worst guy. But it's like, no, dude, it's just any politician. You cannot ever forget that, like Menendez can talk a good game, and I'm sure he's loved by his constituents, maybe potentially future former. It's crazy. He hasn't stepped down yet. Let me add that, because he's convicted now, and of course he's appealing, but he's like, no, I'm not stepping down. In fact, even though he knows like the party is not sticking with him, they're going with someone else, they moved on, he's like, I'm going to try to file as an independent That's how confident this man is. So yeah, I'm in a bit of the weeds here, but let's continue. Let's move a little bit further. He will be sentenced on October 29th and faces a decade in prison. Damn. Like I said, he's not fucking leaving. What else did I want to pull here? Yeah, shocking levels of corruption. Oh yeah, his wife, Nadine, is also scheduled for trial, but hers has been postponed because she has stage 3 breast cancer. So that's important to mention on her side. But I mean, she is a big component to this, a main component, a co-conspirator. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets a guilty verdict as well. Unless maybe they go, oh, well, you have cancer, maybe not. But like, they literally would just relay. And the thing that's kind of fucked up here too, I noticed when I've kind of listened to little excerpts, clips from the trial, is you can kind of see Bob Menendez's team try to kind of shift the blame to Nadine and say, look, Bob did not know everything and like anything that she was doing, okay? He was just the guy. He was just a politician. And like these connections got forged. He doesn't know what happens. He doesn't know, yada, yada. And as for Bob, he's just looking out for his constituents. So any constituents that he helped that maybe want to help him back, that's just a coincidence. Like, it's crazy to kind of paint this kind of picture and say, no, there's no way these people are doing things that are literally accepting bribes, corruption. But I mean, hey, they tried it. And once again, it's worth noting that Bob got away with this shit before because there was a hung jury and, they didn't want to try to go through it again. So, second time is the charm, I guess, in this situation. This marks the second time the senator was charged with corruption. A 2015 indictment ended in a mistrial in 2018 after a jury failed to reach a verdict on all counts. So yeah, you never know. Like I said, I'm still curious with the Reed case, if they're gonna, go through a retrial. Even though from what I've heard, it sounds like prosecution seems like, yeah, we want to go after it. We're gonna try again. But, you never know. We'll see. All right, we have one more thing I wanted to cover. It's an update, and a little bit of sad and somber one I want to use, because I'm definitely not about to be sober. But yeah, let's go ahead and do the last break, and we'll go ahead and close it out. All right. From Action News 5. Affidavit. Woman who rode with alleged Church's Chicken shooter on night of murder called police after seeing the news the next day. Arrest documents offer new details about the shooting death of 48-year-old Anitra West, a Memphis mother and fast food employee who was reportedly killed by an angry customer on Monday, July 8th. West's alleged killer, 45-year-old Monica Williams, was booked Monday, July 15th, after a warrant was issued for her arrest on first-degree murder. So, I mean, hey, big update there. Also, from the title, we now know that initially, when she goes through the drive-thru the first time, she was with a mother and her child. So that's an addition that we didn't know prior in the episode prior when we covered this. I shouldn't say prior. When we did cover this. According to the arrest affidavit, Memphis police were dispatched to Texas Chicken at 263 Park Avenue 1 week ago after an employee called 911 to say her coworker had been shot outside the restaurant. We're going to skip through the gory details there. We've talked about that. But let's see. Yeah, once the customer drove off, West went outside to get some air because she was upset. Her coworker told police. Oh, also it's added too that West was on the phone with her friend, and her friend kind of goes through the whole thing of what happened. Let's see. She said she heard West's argument with the customer and that West described her appearance over the phone. The friend told police that she could hear the customer in the background of the call shouting, "I will kill you," from the drive-through window. Also, we know too about like what the dispute was about. According to the affidavit, West told her, the same girl with the purple hair I got into it with, just pulled back up in the parking lot. So this is after she went out to go get some air, and essentially the lady came back. The woman told police that she then heard West yell, "Go to jail then," followed by a single gunshot. She then heard nothing else until the employees then come out and call for West's name. But let's see here, which matches up with like surveillance video that police found and looked at. Let's see here. The friend said that her and her 10-year-old son were inside Williams' SUV during the argument in the drive-thru, but that they were dropped off before the shooting and didn't realize what happened until the next day. Let's see here. Officers arrived at the woman's home to find Williams' car parked outside. It was then seized as evidence. The witness gave a statement to investigators saying Williams asked her and her son if they were hungry around 8:30 p.m. the night prior. According to her, they had coupons for Church's Chicken and decided to go to their nearby drive-thru. She told investigators that she was in the front passenger seat of Williams' car when they went to the food chain. Williams allegedly told the employee at the drive-thru that they had 2 orders, the witness said. That's when things became tense, and they decided to skip the chicken order since ordering had become so tense, the friend had told investigators. Williams then pulled up to the drive-thru and told the employee they no longer wanted the order. The witness said things became more heated and an argument began, although nothing physical took place. Afterwards, Williams reportedly drove the mother and the son home and then dropped them off in the driveway, saying that she was going to go get some chips to go with their dinner. That friend said Williams came back sometime between 11 p.m. and midnight, packed an overnight bag, and left without her car. Her friend told the police that she wasn't surprised to see Williams' car outside the next day because she was seeing someone and leaving with them in the evenings. So that apparently wasn't like that wasn't untoward or weird behavior. So that kind of just made sense. And hence why it's like, oh, then you see your friend's face on the news, you see the car on the news, you're like, wait, oh, fuck. So yeah, I mean, that adds up. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's where we're going to leave it for right now. Obviously it's very sad and unfortunate. Somewhat conclusion. Obviously, I'm sure there's going to be some trial, and we're gonna get an update on like a sentencing and yada yada yada. All of that. You know how that goes on this episode, on this podcast. You know how we do. But yeah, that's where we're gonna leave it. I just didn't want to let that go without talking about that, covering that. But yeah, if you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Become a newsie today. Let's see. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials you're on. And then hopefully subscribe to the YouTube. Really happy to see those numbers go up. Leave a like, leave a comment. Hopefully it's a cool comment. Don't be weird. Don't be cringe. I'll be real. I'm going to delete the bad comments. I delete the cringe comments. The ones that I keep are good ones or solid ones or ones that at least make me laugh and I can just kind of go back to and just giggle or, I leave a comment back, whatever. That's fine. But please just, be cool. Leave a cool comment. That'd be nice. Sharing is caring. It can be fun. But yeah, hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.